What's happening, guys? Mathematician is back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So guys, I'm touching base with you in respect of this particular fragrance. If this saves you some time, some money, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and then we'll get into it. By all means, guys, thank you very much for the shout outs in the previous video. Hey, we're all human. We don't get things right all the time. You know, it's easy on YouTube. People make comments on YouTube and things like that. I can see in a lot of other people's videos, but they're not the ones in front of the camera, and they're not the ones who potentially are putting time in to do this. So just bear that in mind, guys. But thank you very much for the positive comments out there. Anyway, guys, in respect to this fragrance, this is for a sequence from Zara, $10.99 in the UK. Now, for me, I've done a previous video and I mentioned it before that it's getting to a point now where there are so many releases that are coming out that you're struggling to really have one particular fragrance to hold on to. Personally, I would prefer to just go spend the time, allow myself the opportunity for, you know, to understand what the fragrance is about if I can. And obviously, a recent release, for instance, Tom Ford's, that you can see from there, I just got a sample of this one. So Tom Ford's Black Orchid, the other profound concentration. You know, it's one of those situations, guys, that so many fragrances are out there. Where do you start? And I think what Zara have done is they've done a good thing in that they've allowed for people who aren't really too much into fragrances to be getting their clothes. If they like the clothes, maybe they'll like the fragrance. However, that being said, I mean, $10.99 is not a lot of money for a fragrance, in my opinion. But unfortunately, you're going to probably go down the same road again as what we talked about previously, that a lot of these fragrances have either been reformulated, they've been previously released by Zara, but put into a new bottle, or it just doesn't even last. There's no projection. And again, the sillage that we talked about, ultimately, again, that aroma that's left in the room is not there anymore because it doesn't really project off your skin. And there's no complexity to the fragrance. This one, however, guys, again, I'm just giving you my first impressions. It says it's got apple, rock rose, and lemon with a fresh, nocturnal, and luminous fragrance. All I'm going to say, guys, to me, it's one that's been released before. I can't remember off the top of my head right about now. The apple note in there really put me off. To be honest, I think it smells to me like this is something that they've probably released from some form of like sports scent. I mean, again, I'm not a particular fan of apple in fragrances, and I know obviously you got that new Spice Bomb night version, which has apple in it, and again, it puts me off a little bit, to be honest. Nice fragrance, but I wouldn't go out my way to buy it. And this one, again, guys, in all honesty, it doesn't last longer than about, again, 10 minutes on my skin. The only thing is it smells a little bit chlorine, which is this type of chlorine, slightly, maybe it's like this lemon pledge smell, which is coming from the lemon and the apple. It smells a little bit to me like urine, in all honesty. So that being said, I definitely won't be buying this one. $10.99 or not, guys. If you like it, by all means, go ahead, pull the trigger, go and buy that fragrance. For me personally, it's not one I like. It's just not for my nose, but it doesn't mean may not be for you. I would just recommend, guys, that the difficulty is now that a lot of these fragrances, because you have to go through this extra effort of asking somebody else or the shop assistant, can I go and smell this one? Please make sure that you smell them before you buy them. I know some people have been doing blind buys because I know it's only $10.99. But in all honesty, guys, that's not what I recommend, especially these type of fragrances. If you're going to go to Tom Ford and you're going to spend £150 on a fragrance, I'm pretty much guaranteed you're going to make sure you smell it before you blind buy a fragrance for that amount. Just because it's cheap, guys, doesn't mean that you should waste your money. Unfortunately, for me, this is just another waste. I want to say it smells something like something that came out maybe in the tobacco collection. There were 2 releases that came out, which I do need to go and check on. I just need to check. This is my first impressions, but I have a sneaking suspicion, as I say, it's been released already with this prominent apple note in there. And I think that there was like an apple and lime sort of smell that was going on in one of the tobacco collection releases, the earlier releases. And I think I'm sort of getting that vibe just without the tobacco in there. But nonetheless, guys, in my opinion, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't recommend to go and buy it. If you like those type of apple lemon pledge fragrances, by all means, knock yourself out. You're probably better off, guys, just maybe go and buying, how can I say, Burberry Touch, which is a little bit more of like a old school type of, I say, get a bit of a lemon sort of smell I get from that one. Sort of any occasion type of smell. This one here, I mean, Burberry Touch you probably get from discounters even from about £15, £20 for even 100ml. So for this one, guys, I mean, don't waste your money. I know people talk about, oh, well, it's only $10.99. Don't waste your money, guys. It doesn't last long. I just don't see what you're going to get from it. It's a nice smelling fragrance. Smells a little bit, in all honesty, actually, guys, it smells a little bit like Abercrombie & Fitch Face, and a little bit like, obviously, Mont Blanc, the original Individual, or is it Explorer? Let's see if I'm confusing myself now. That's the vibe I'm getting from it without the original version of Mont Blanc. There we go. Sorry, Mont Blanc Legend in the black bottle. That's what I'm getting. A little bit of that, which is coming predominantly from this apple note. But again, it's not as creamy, it's not as complex as Fierce would be. And obviously, in a way, I am saying you get what you pay for. And that if you're paying £10 for a fragrance, don't expect to get £100 worth of quality. The two don't go. But in all honesty, guys, even the Mont Blanc Legend, you can get that probably now for on about even. I can see ones now price drop online £18, and that's for 50ml. So in all honesty, is it really worth going and spending £10 for something which isn't really particularly that good, or is imitating something which you're really not getting, in my opinion, value for money? But that's what it smells like to me, actually. Now I smell it, and now I think about it. First impressions, it does smell in line with Fierce, in line with Mont Blanc Legend. So maybe that's why they're going with it. And funny enough, that's why they've called it maybe First Sequence. Who knows? Anyway, guys, I hope that'll save you some money. As I say, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And next on the channel, we will have Russo, who's going to do a review. I'm going to do a review of 5 autumn fragrances, designer fragrances, not Zara this time. 5 designer fragrances, and let's see what she says. She did give me a sneaking suspicion, know that she's probably a person who does like Creed Aventus, and she did mention that her boyfriend wears that. So obviously that's going to have to stay out of the list, because I think there's going to be a little bit of bias if we get that in the video. But nonetheless, guys, stick with me. It's good to have these female opinions, and it gives us an idea as to, you know, what potentially would be good in the autumn weather. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.